Hey folks, welcome to Let's Go Dad. I'm Nick, and in a minute you'll see an interview with Robert, but before that, for full disclosure, I want to say that part of this is for my homework for my new job, so enjoy that. But also, it ties in really nicely with this being National Reunification Month. So if you don't know what reunification is and you're in foster care or adoption, or you're looking at being a foster parent, reunification is kids getting reunified with their biological family. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it's really important that we as foster parents focus on that. But whether you're a foster parent, a CASA, or a caseworker, this video should have some useful tips for you. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go. You fit in that shirt once upon a time?
Once upon a time,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. How zombies get ahead in life? That was your shirt?
Yep, I remember it.
Wow, I can't remember you being that small. Did we have a pretty good relationship with your biological father?
Yes.
Yes, we did. What kinds of things did we do with your biological dad?
Stuff.
Stuff like?
Like stuff.
Like?
Stuff.
It's been a little while now, but with your biological father, when he was going through the process and you were in foster care, do you feel like I treated your father with respect and like he was any other human being?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, did I care about your father?
Yes.
Yeah, did Grandma care about your father?
I wanna read about it now, but yes, she did.
Yeah. Why do you think it's important to you that I had a good relationship, a good working relationship with your dad?
One is, it helped me decide if I wanted to be adopted or not.
Oh, that actually impacted your decision about whether or not you want to be adopted?
If he didn't sign over the rights, I wouldn't have trusted you enough, so I would have said no.
Oh, so me having a good relationship with him helped you trust me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I think that's true, right? If someone loves their parent and someone has a good relationship with your parent, you're more likely to have a good relationship with them. That sounds right, and trust them. I am keeping Robert from his TV show. Hence the face. All right, love you, bud. Have a good night. All right, if you're a caseworker or a court-appointed special advocate or a foster parent, one of the things that you'll spend a significant part of your time doing is being in contact with biological family members. Now, if you're good at your role, this means that you'll collaborate with them, that you'll work with them, you'll partner with them, you'll get them on board with their case plan in every way that you can. Of course, depending on your role, depends on how you can do that. But one way or another, there's some tips we have for you. Here comes 7 tips on how to help out and how to work with a biological family. Tip 1, listen to your mom, or at least mine. So do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Okay, not only is this scripture, it is just common sense, folks. You want people to treat you with love, care, and respect, so please, please, please treat the families that you're working with just like you would want to be treated. If you do this, so many other things will fall in place. You'll build trust, they'll share things with you, they'll partner with you. So nobody wants to feel like they have a new enemy that is judging everything they do. Oh man, it would be like being in junior high again or middle school again. Like feeling like everyone is watching you and judging all the things you do, how you wear your clothes, how clean your house is, everything. No one wants that. And it can be so difficult when we've seen or heard or have an idea of what's happened to the kids that are in our care and that this family has somehow been responsible for it. It can be hard not to judge, but it's so important that we don't. It's actually really critical that we are on their side, the biological family's side, so that we can partner with them and give them the support they need from us, again, depending on our role, to have a safe and stable place for that child long term. Don't make them the enemy. Don't judge. I mean, the truth is, no matter what we feel about the case, a judge can still decide to send them home whether we think it's right or not, and it's better for us to have sent those kids out of our care knowing that we have done everything we can to help build that family up, to help with their healing so that they can be a safe, stable home for the child that we care about and the child that our whole community really should care about. As a foundation for this, we should speak in understandable terms or explain ourselves, take the time to say, do you know what that abbreviation means? Okay, that means court-appointed special advocate, and their role is to, so just to be honest with people and explain exactly what we're talking about. And of course, being kind and smiling go a long way with these families. Let's face it, you would rather be smiled at than scowled at any day of the week. That is what you would want someone to do for you. It's what I want someone to do for me. Number 2, keep in mind that the vast majority of these parents have been victims of some kind of tragedy. For example, one of the children close to my heart, their great-great-grandparent was a military hero, like full-on hero, but he came back with untreated PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and it wrecked him and led him to alcoholism, and that affected his family, and it rippled down through the generations. And so this cycle of abuse has really impacted that family long term. And so it's not that they're evil people, it's that something happened. There is something that caused this family to be in the situation they're in, and they're having a hard time getting out of it. If we can keep that in mind, that's going to really help us to not judge the family that we're working with. Many parents of abused and neglected children were abused or neglected themselves. Many have fallen into this really stressful way of living. They may not have a buffer system, people around them who will jump in when something bad happens, whatever the situation, they've come into a hard time. Some would argue that even drug use is a symptom. Whatever you do, find a way to not judge this family you're working with. Doesn't mean you have to agree. Obviously, abuse and neglect is a terrible thing, and it's not okay. Hear me right, though. That does not mean that you should treat the family like they're anything less than human. And if you care about the children that you're working for, well, these are their children. They're part of that family. And chances are, these kids feel connected to their family. And if they don't now, they will one day. Number 3, know that you are walking into a different culture. So when you deal with another family, you're working with a different culture. When I was in the country of Turkey, I was appalled that people would let their young teenagers go for walks in the park at like midnight, right? In this like central park of this town that I was in. They'd let their kids go for walks out there with buddies at like midnight, right? Now it was summer and all that, but still midnight, unsupervised. That was until a Turkish national pointed out to me that every single adult that was anywhere near those kids took full responsibility for them. They would correct them. They would make sure that they were okay. That's just part of that culture. Where in American culture, we're like, someone really needs to do something about that kid over there who's having problems. That's not their culture. Everyone is watching out for that kid. Similarly, every family has their own beliefs, their own points of view, their own way of communicating with each other, showing affection and care to each other. Every family has their own culture and way of being. Then if you throw in ethnic, socioeconomic, and other factors into this, different religions than yours, all of a sudden you have to realize that there's going to be a lot of differences, that this is a completely different culture from yours. Even if they have a lot of things in common with you, there's going to be a lot that's different. And so tread carefully as you communicate with this family, as you think about this family, as you work with this family. Number 4, let the family know that you're there for them and how exactly you plan to support them. I'm going to be consistent with you in making my appointments. I'm going to be consistent with you in communicating. I'm going to make sure I let you know about all IEP meetings, doctor visits, everything that you need to know to be successful as the parent of this child. I don't want you to miss out on having a relationship with your child during this time, even if it's not exactly the relationship that you hoped you would have. So I've done this, and one family in particular I can think of is still communicating with me about how their kid is doing, even though he's an adult. They're like, yay, he did this, and this is happening, and this great moment in his life happened, and all of these things. And I would be completely missing out on that if I hadn't had a good relationship where I communicated effectively, where I shared appointments and did everything. I even called and reminded them about court dates. Hey, I just got the letter. I just wanted to make sure you got the letter too. And you know what? Sometimes they didn't, and they were so grateful, and it really made us feel like we're part of the same team, that I had their back, even on court dates. Know that many parents will think of you as the enemy. This is especially true at first, but it may continue and go kind of off and on even as the case progresses. Do not play into the us versus them mentality. In fact, the more that you offer appropriate support and care for them, the more likely that they're going to be honest with you, vulnerable with you, that they'll allow you to participate fully in their case plan and helping them meet goals and do the things that really are best for the child. So I have a kid. I've had like 10 kids in my home, and I can tell you right off the bat, kids hate change. Well, headline here, so do their families. It makes them feel even more out of control when their world is already spinning. Do everything you can to complete things in a timely manner and to do what you say you're going to do. If change has to happen, please inform them as soon as you can and be prepared to walk them through what things are going to look like with that change. Whether it's you not being in the picture, whether a different foster family is coming for the child, whatever's happening, make sure that you're prepared to help them, because all of these things, like change, is actually additional trauma in a lot of cases with these families. So minimize that trauma as much as you can. So number 7, the final thing is find all the positive things you can about this family. Repeat them frequently, state them all the time. For example, man, little Johnny has so much energy. I bet he's going to be a firefighter when he grows up. It's going to serve him well. Or maybe he'll be in the Olympics when he grows up. Everyone likes to hear nice things said about themselves and their child. Everyone. This helps adjust our attitudes personally and then break down the walls so that you can have real, honest, and open communication with families. Thanks for watching Let's Go Dad.